Hello, everyone. My name is Garabedian, and on behalf of the Armenian Revolutionary Federation of Providence, our sister organizations, and the Saints Vartanans Church of Providence, I would like to welcome Sevan Garabedian-Atamian from the ARS in Lebanon, who will be speaking with us for the next few minutes to share in detail how the ARS is helping Armenians suffering during the current socioeconomic crisis in Lebanon. Before we begin speaking with Sevan, you need to know that there is currently a big $20,000 matching fundraising campaign going on in Providence right now. As a community, we want to send $40,000 of financial aid to Lebanon. And you're about to hear why it's important we send that money there. So whether you're donating $20, $50, $200, we're going to match it dollar for dollar and make sure it's twice as strong when it gets to Lebanon. I just want you to know, as you can see behind me, you can send a check. Now you can send a check and write it to ARS Ani. You can write it to ARS Arax. You can also write it to Saints Vartanans and mail it to 7 Armenia Street, Providence, Rhode Island. If you want to donate securely online with your credit card, simply go to arseastusa.com/donation. Of course, if you go to the homepage, you're going to see a donation button, and then you'll see the Lebanon Emergency Fund. And there's a secure way of making your donation that we will match when we send it to Lebanon. I know it says 10,000. 10,000 is being matched by the sister organizations. 10,000 is being matched by Saints Vartanans Church. And again, together, there's a total of $20,000 that we are matching up to, so we can send a community-wide $40,000 to Lebanon. Before we dive into the details of what is happening on the ground, I'd like to let our listeners know that in Lebanon, the ARS is actually called Loch, or the Armenian Relief Cross of Lebanon. They are equivalent to the Red Cross that is here in the United States. But I will let Sevan tell us more about the ARCL.
Hello, Angerak. The Armenian Relief Cross of Lebanon, ARCL, is a private, voluntary, non-profit organization that has evolved by its volunteering members, and it was founded in 1930 and is officially recognized by the Lebanese government. The ARCL has around 4,000 members within the 25 chapters all over Lebanon. Our organization operates entirely on a democratic platform from the local chapter executives, which are elected each year, and the regional executive board, which is elected every 2 years, by a convention of delegates from each chapter. Activities and programs of the ARCL are planned on the basis of resolutions and general orientations adopted by the convention. Each of the ARCL's 25 chapters and committees within Lebanon help the needy, sick, the elderly, and students. The 25 chapters are identified with names that represent historic or current cities from Armenia and Artsakh. But we also identify ARCL chapters by monumental women who have greatly contributed to our nation and the ARCL.
Sevan, thank you very much for telling us about the Armenian Relief Cross of Lebanon. And now I'd like you to tell us the hard truth of how different life is in the Armenian community today in Lebanon compared to 2 years ago.
Angerak, the situation in Lebanon has drastically changed during the past 2 years. The country is going through a socioeconomic meltdown, devaluation of the Lebanese pound, in addition to the COVID-19 pandemic. There is high unemployment rate amongst community members, along with the skyrocketing prices of goods, which have made the situation completely different compared to 2 years ago.
Wow. Has anything improved, or do you think it's still getting worse?
Nothing has improved. Everything is getting worse. The economic crisis, devaluation of Lebanese currency, which we call the lira, The COVID-19 pandemic, as well as the catastrophic explosion of Beirut port, unemployment, and skyrocketing prices have driven the population into poverty.
Sevan, you mentioned devaluation of the lira and how the population has been driven into poverty. Is it that the price of food and gas went up, or did people's pay in Lebanon go down and now they just can't afford to buy food?
Let me explain it another way. Everyone gets paid in lira here. If someone's monthly pay was 1.5 million lira 2 years ago, it was worth about 1,000 US dollars. But today, that same person will still be receiving a monthly pay of 1.5 million lira, but now it is only worth about 65 US dollars. So when someone wants to buy food or gas for their car, the purchase price has either doubled or become 20 times more expensive.
Wow.
Yes.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. Here we are in the US, and all they talk about on the news is that inflation has skyrocketed this year, but in the US, inflation has only increased 6%, while in Lebanon, it sounds like it's over 1,000% in the same time frame. It's no wonder that it seems the best type of help Armenians listening can provide to Armenians in Lebanon is to send our US dollars through donation to Lebanon. And I think this is a good time to remind everybody, that's why we are doing a matching fund donation. Your $20 will become $40, your $100 will become $200. You have no idea how impactful our money, the strength of our US dollar is to help Armenians living in Lebanon. You can send a check, you can make the check out to Saint Vartanants, you can say ARS Ani, you can write ARS Arax, just mail it to 7 Armenia Street, Providence, Rhode Island, or you can make a secure online donation, go to arseastus.org/donate, or just go to the homepage, you'll see the donate button, you'll see the picture of Lebanon relief, and you can securely make a credit card donation that we're gonna be matching. Again, the sister organizations and the ARF are matching $10,000. The church is matching $10,000. So together we have a $20,000 matching campaign. We want to send 20,000 from community members, 20,000 from the organizations, and get that 40,000 to Lebanon, because as you're going to hear in our conversation with Sevan, how important it is. So now that we better understand the crisis in Lebanon, can you tell listeners how the ARS and the ARCL, of course, the Armenian Relief Cross of Lebanon, are helping Armenians in Lebanon?
Yes, Gerhard, we have always been generously supported by the Armenian Relief Society's Central Board for many, many years. And we have always dedicated all of our efforts to help the Lebanese-Armenian community. For example, right after the catastrophic explosion of the Beirut port, ARCL volunteer members visited severely damaged households in order to check the damaged regions. After checking the needs, we provided household appliances or financial assistance to the families whose homes were destroyed because of the explosion. There are several initiatives that we have been doing and will continue to do to provide aid in our Armenian communities in Lebanon. Let me tell you, Gerhard, how we are providing food to those in need. Following the Beirut port explosion, the ARCL, Vartuhide Girmenjan Kitchen, with the support of ARS Central Committee, prepared around 1,000 portions of hot meals twice a week and distributed to the helpless, elderly, and the families in need, as well as lunch boxes containing necessary food for daily needs. Today, we are preparing between 700 to 800 portions of meals once a week. We try to keep the meals as traditional as possible, such as each pilav with some chicken or rapamal. We try also to provide fruits and vegetables to keep the meals balanced. Sometimes, we have to provide soup, spaghetti, or macaroni meals. Not only is the hot meal we provide used to keep families from going to bed hungry, but these meals we provide lift the spirits of Armenians who are suffering each day because of the crisis that surrounds them every minute of the day.
Well, you know, Ngerui, there's a lot of ways people can donate to Lebanon. And sometimes when you donate to a charity, you don't really know how your donation is being used. But what you're telling us is reassuring me and the listeners that when a donation is sent to the ARS, that every penny will find its way to help Armenians in Lebanon, or as a matter of fact, any project that the ARS has. I think it's so important for listeners to understand how their donations are being used, especially when we have such a large matching fundraiser campaign going on right now. When we collect that fund and we send that to Lebanon, and we're not waiting to get it to send it, we're sending it as it comes in because Armenians in Lebanon need help immediately. But perhaps you can tell us if the crisis has caused Armenian children to miss out on attending school.
Thanks to the generous donations from sponsors and supporters, all Armenian schools are open and all Armenian students are in classrooms. Some of the schools have also been able to provide some financial aid to many families who are in need so that the students of those families stay in school. The parents of students who need help apply to us to get financial assistance, and we provide financial support to pay for the students' tuition fees. Keep in mind that most of the Armenian schools in Lebanon either provide financial aid to the families in need or have reduced their tuition fees so that Armenian families keep their children in school. But even with a reduced tuition, many families can't afford to pay the remaining sum, and that is when we come in and help.
And Sevan, I'm so glad to hear that our children have not missed out on school. And I'm certain that our listeners are also happy to hear such positive news. It is simply amazing what the Armenian community in Lebanon has been able to accomplish while surrounded by such extreme economic crises. And it's due to the donations coming in from the diaspora that this is all being made possible. Can you tell us how preparations are being made for winter?
Yes. First of all, thanks to the support of the ARS Central Committee, the ARCL Regional Committee was able to provide 1,000 buckets of bottles of detergents to families in need, along with 3,000 wool or woolen blankets to keep warm in the winter. We have also able to provide infant formula for babies, hygiene products, and necessary household items to community members. With winter and Christmas approaching, we hope to be able to provide jackets and shoes to children in need. As you can see, the ARS Central Committee has been a great and vital supporter of our programs, especially following the catastrophic Beirut port explosion and with the current economic crisis.
Angeri Sevan, again, it's incredible what you're telling us. And again, I can't stress enough of how important it is for our donations to reach the people that are in need. Again, you can send a check to the ARS Ani, ARS Arax, to Saint Vartanans. We're going to be matching dollar for dollar up to a total of $20,000. Of course, 10,000 of it is coming from Saint Vartanans, 10,000 from the sister organizations. Send that check to 7 Armenia Street, Providence, Rhode Island. And you can also make a secure donation online. Go to arseastus.org and you'll see a donation button. Click that. You'll see the picture of Lebanon with the emergency fund relief. And you can securely make your online donation. And we're going to be matching up to 20,000. So that way it's a total of 40 grand that we're going to be sending over to relief in Lebanon. Angary Sevan, can you tell us about how the ARS and the Armenian Relief Cross of Lebanon are providing medical aid to Armenians in Lebanon?
Yes, of course. I will tell you about the ARCL, Araxi-Bolurgian Socio-Medical Center, which was founded in 1987. It is located in densely populated area of Burchamud, where many Armenians live. The goal is to improve the public health and the well-being of the population to a healthcare system with a broad range of preventive services, emphasizing on primary healthcare. The ARCL Araxi-Bolurgian Socio-Medical Center provided much-needed care to those who suffered from injuries on the day of the Beirut port explosion. The medical team even performed surgery under the flashlights from their mobile phones because there was no power in front of their damaged center. In the days following the explosion, nurses and doctors also made house calls and continued to care for the injured. The ARCL Bolurgian Socio-Medical Center provides medical care and necessary medications at affordable prices to the people of Lebanon. Our medical center also provides free PCR tests to dedicate COVID-19.
Ingrid Sevan, many people listening to our conversation right now may be living in an area that already provides free COVID-19 PCR tests. But how much does a PCR test cost in Lebanon that you say the ARCL is providing for free of charge?
Yes, it is expensive a little bit for citizens here to pay full price for a COVID test. Keep in mind that our monthly wages are worth very little today due to the extreme inflation. So COVID test would normally cost 150,000 lira, which is often 25% of someone's monthly salary who lives here in Lebanon.
Wow. Wow, that's huge. I can't imagine spending 25% of my paycheck on a COVID-19 test. I think that would prevent people from getting tested and only spread the disease. So it's wonderful that we are able to provide free testing for our densely populated communities. So has it been difficult for Armenians in Lebanon to find the medicine they need?
At first, yes, we had difficulty finding medications, especially chronic medications. However, after lifting subsidies by the Ministry of Health, as set by the central bank, we are beginning to find most of the medications that are needed. However, the prices of these medications have increased to unimaginably high levels. Simple examples I will provide is that a cough medicine, which used to cost 3,000 to 4,000 lira, and today it costs approximately about 35,000 to 75,000 lira. Medicine used for hypertension used to cost 16,000 lira, and today it is about $150 lira or more.
So it went from hypertension went from costing 16,000 lira to 150,000.
So approximately 45% to 65% the inflation.
Yeah. Oh, it's multiple times. It's crazy. And again, in the US, we're talking about inflation on the news. It's nothing compared to this. This is unimaginable. And it's so important that our US dollar, which hasn't experienced inflation, can help Armenians living in Lebanon because their lira is becoming completely devaluated. It's almost unusable, which is why, again, I'll remind you, we're doing a matching fund donation. There's a total of $20,000 that we are matching up to as a Providence community. It doesn't matter where you live. If you want to be a part of this, you can be a part of the solution. Write your checks, write them to either ARS Ani, write it to ARS Arax. You can write it to Saints Vartanans. Just mail those checks to 7 Armenia Street, Providence, Rhode Island. You can go online to make a secure donation using your credit card, go to arseastus.org, click the donate button. You'll see the picture of Lebanon, and you can make a secure online donation. And again, we're matching up to a total of 20 grand. 10 is coming from St. Svartanans, 10 is coming from the sister organizations, and together we want to send 40,000 to Lebanon. So Angeru Sevan, thank you so much for sharing the details to exactly how the ARS and the ARCL have been helping Armenians in Lebanon. There are so many ways people can send money to Lebanon, but donors need to make sure that they are sending their donations to reputable and trusted charities such as the ARS and the prelacy. Sometimes people mean well, and they make a donation that ends up in some politicians' pockets. We've heard about that a lot in the past, and those monies don't end up helping those who are suffering. So it's so important to donate through the ARS, donate through the prelacy, in order to ensure Armenians in Lebanon are going to be receiving the help. Angeru Sevan, if someone in the US were to donate, say, $20 or $200, how much will that help?
The value of Lebanese pounds depreciates and fluctuates on a daily basis against the US dollar. For example, in 2019, the monthly salary of a school teacher used to be equivalent to 1,000 US dollars. However, today, that same school teacher's salary is equivalent to 65 US dollars, even though the school teacher's pay did not change. So any and all dollars donated, whether it is 20 US dollars or 200 US dollars, will greatly serve our community in the ways that I have been explaining so far.
Wow. I don't know what to say, but well, Angeru Sevan, you've shared a lot of information with us about how the ARS and the ARCL have been able to help Armenians during this crisis. But I know that the ARS in Lebanon and the ARCL have several other projects. Perhaps you can tell us about a few before we close this meeting out.
Yes, I would like to let the listeners know about the Handcraft Center of ARCL, which was founded in 1976 in Burchamut. The purpose of the center has been to meet the growing needs of the economical deprived population and to ensure regular income to help fund our social and educational programs that have been in place years prior to this current crisis situation. This center enables young women to acquire skills in sewing and embroidery. By that, I mean traditional Armenian teachers embroidered on tablecloths, runners, and on different wooden items like trays, tea boxes, and frames, as well as embroidered bracelets and necklaces.
Wow, Angeru Sevan, that sounds beautiful, actually. And
Yes.
I'd like listeners to know that you can find the Handcraft Center on Instagram. Search for Armenian Artisan at ARCL. Armenian. If you search Armenian Artisan, you're probably only going to get 3 results. You'll see it.
Armenian
It's Armenian
Artisana
Artisan
at ARCL.
at ARCL. Yep, that's the
Yes.
full name. So,
Yes.
and you'll see many beautiful handmade work that Angeru Sevan has mentioned.
Yes, and Gerhard, also I would like to tell you about the Narod Ardaljian library that we established in 1995 to help mold the Armenian student and strengthen the knowledge they gain at school. The library had been open each and every day, welcoming children and young adults all year round. To help develop the child's reading skills during the summer, and the library would become a reading hall and a place for summer activity preparations. During the winter, the library would transform into an after-school study room where students would do their homework and the presence of a supervising teacher. However, due to the COVID pandemic, the library has remained closed for the past 2 years. We are currently using the space to administrate the free of charge COVID-19 PCR test which I mentioned before for members of our community.
Ngeruwi Sevan, thank you so very much for taking the time, speaking
You're
live
welcome.
to us from Lebanon and to educate us on how awful and serious the crisis is in Lebanon. Actually, as long as how we can remember, ARS has continued to help Armenians in Lebanon, and this is just an example of how the ARS continues to be the backbone to a lot of the support and to support the ARCL. It is so very important for listeners to donate their strong US dollar to the ARS because it will go a long way to help Armenians in Lebanon, as we have heard Ngeruwi Sevan describe in very full and thorough detail.
I would like to thank the ARS Central Committee for the support and ARF Christopher Gomide of Providence for giving the opportunity to address our compatriots in the United States. For we together, we stand strong.
Yes, absolutely, Ngeruwi. And thank you, Ngeruwi Sevan. And please let the Armenians in Lebanon know that we are thinking and praying for them each and every day, and that we will continue to support them from the Providence community. This has been a presentation from the Armenian Revolutionary Federation, Providence Christopher Gomide, and thank you for watching.